All right, welcome to another episode of the High Velocity Couple Podcast. I'm Paul Montalongo, my lovely wife, Letitia, and we are joined by a very, very exciting couple all the way from Canada and Maui. We'll get into that, right? We'll get into that. Michael and Jennifer Salisbury, and they've got a very interesting story about their journey into real estate and their journey into working together. And of course, the High Velocity Couple Podcast is all about couples that are doing cool things and working together. So welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
This is fun.
You like San Antonio so far?
Oh, yeah.
You like the heat?
No. No, I don't like the preheat.
Well, the fact that you guys get the opportunity to live in Canada and my favorite place on the earth, Maui.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk to you guys about it. So that's fun. So you're going to have to just struggle with the heat for like the next couple of hours and tell us about how you guys got here. Like, how did you guys get to live in two fabulous places?
By design.
Okay.
Specifically by design. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like all about setting goals. Just like you set goals to get what you want in life, you set goals to what your lifestyle looks like, where you want to live, all that stuff.
So how did it start?
Well, when he and I got married, well, even when he and I met, he had asked me one day, we were just dating, just casually dating. And he says, what's the three most important books for you? And I said, well, the Bible, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And at that point it stopped and he was like, really? I don't remember what the third book was, but at that point it didn't matter.
Oh, really?
She had you at Napoleon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, well, there's someone's on the same page.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So Paul has a fun Napoleon Hill story.
Well, yeah. So I have one of the original copies of the book signed by Napoleon Hill.
No. Oh my gosh. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And I have a dear friend who found it at an estate sale. She knows I'm a fan. She bought it and she told me she was going to gift it to me when she died.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then as
she died before she gave it to you, though.
yeah, many years passed. And she's like, you know what? I'm not going to hold on to this anymore. Here, I'm going to send it to you. So she sent it to me and I have it in my library. And I cherish it.
Amazing.
How many times have you read Think and Grow Rich?
Ask her that question.
How many times has he read Think and Grow Rich?
Oh, I don't know. Twice, 3 times.
Well, I listen to audiobooks, so I listen. I originally read it a couple times, but then I just listen to it all sections or listen to the whole thing when I'm going through my library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she's the reader, so she's...
How many times have you read?
29.
29
29.
times.
And I know that because every time I finish it, I write the date in the back of the book.
Holy
So I-
cow.
Keep it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make an introduction for you to one of the board members of the Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Yes, please.
I would do that. I would do that. And so
29 times.
Yeah.
That is
29
insane.
times.
Well, and every time I read it, it reads different. You know, it's stereo instructions on how you get what you want in life. And this is where I just, every time I go through, it's like, okay, last year I wanted to do this. This year I want to do this. And so it changes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why I've read it so many times.
That's awesome. Is there something consistent that resonates with you in it?
The hardest part is figuring out what you want. The easy part is letting the world align to let them bring it to you. You just have to figure out what you want and ask for it.
Right. Nice.
Like we've been looking for a mentor and here you are.
Oh,
But that's reality. We've been looking for
Okay.
a mentor who has walked through the steps.
Yeah.
And every coach that we've ever been assigned, they never actually walked through the steps. And so it was hard for us to gain respect and they had no personal experience of what we were trying to do. It's like they were in awe of us. I'm like, it's not supposed to work like that. So when we talked with you, I was just like, what are we doing? Send me the pay link. Let's hire him right now. And we did.
you did.
Yeah.
You really did.
No, it was the decision because we had been looking for you.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Well,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Thank
and by
you.
the way,
Well, now I feel like Napoleon Hill brought y'all together.
Well, I didn't know that until now.
take it, Napoleon, wherever you are. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
and
story.
it's been a great relationship because as a mentor, you know, you give a lot, but you get the rewards from the results. And so when you have people that are being mentored and they're producing results and they're taking action and they're not giving excuses, it makes you feel just really wonderful. So for that part, that's a gift to me. So thank you.
Yeah, it's like when you give something, like some people think that they got to repay you, but sometimes the giving something gives you the reward, knowing that helps their life be better, right?
Yeah.
So
Great.
that's cool.
Well, that's impressive. 29 times.
Yeah, that's got to be a record.
I'm a chronic overachiever. I mean, that's.
You think?
Oh no, that's who I am. That
Which
was my
takes us
Halloween
to-
costume.
Which what?
That was my Halloween costume last year. Chronic overachiever.
Chronic over.
I had I'll send you the photo. I had a chronic overachiever sash with a tiara that said A+ or bust, and I ran around handing out gold stars to everybody. So everybody in the Halloween party got gold stars, and he was Captain Chaos, and Chaos was upside down on his shirt.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Well, I'll send it to you. It's pretty
And so
funny.
this is
It's
this is a
known.
reflection of the reality.
Oh no, it's reality. Chronic overachiever. 29 times. That should be more.
So you told us something interesting last night about your past. Because joking, we were like, okay, people in our business, in our space, in real estate space, they don't just like, they're not born that way, I don't think. Like something happens and they get into it. And every time we ask somebody, oh, what were you doing before? The answer is,
I'm a neurosurgeon, but I want to make some money
and so they get into real estate.
because they need to invest it
And
and not
then
pay
you-
taxes, right?
Yeah.
So-
And then you two guys were like, so have you always done real estate? And your response was?
Yeah, I've been doing real estate for years. Yeah.
And then what's your background though?
I'm, contractor, helicopter company, developer,
You're a logger.
logger.
You're a shake
logger.
walking logger. And
Okay, I'll log it. I don't always admit that, but I'll admit it here.
I don't know any loggers.
Yeah.
No, you
I
do now.
I
Very
do.
unique in
Yeah.
that.
Actually, matter of fact, this year probably I'm going to be competing in logger sports again. I competed last year, so
You're married to an overachiever.
in
and
about
she's like,
2
so you know
weeks.
the pole climb.
Yeah.
2000, I think it was 2000.
Yeah.
I won the novice pole climb championship, Canadian championship. So
Wow,
it
that's
was kind of
awesome.
fun.
He doesn't do that now though. Last year
She won't let me.
he did the axe throw and he did the hot saw. So that's where they start with a chainsaw underneath and his hands on it, and then they start the clock and he's got to cut a full circle, a full cut. And then he didn't make it out of preliminaries, but honestly it didn't matter because I put it all over Facebook and all our friends and family came and enjoyed it. It was a riot. It was so much fun. So he'll do it again. Like we'll just play it up.
You know what I'm hearing from them? How you do one thing is how you do everything.
That's it.
How you do one thing.
All
So
in.
at what point, if you go back to the beginning here, what was the moment that you guys knew that you could work together in the real estate space and really create something cool and of a legacy?
It wasn't just the real estate; it was life. Like I had gone through a divorce, and I was there was a guy in Texas named Jack Bragg who arranged tours for single guys to go meet women in Ukraine, and we'd set up these parties, and we'd go to these different cities, and we'd spend 3 days, and we'd have a party, we'd meet girls, we'd make arrangements to date, and we move on to the next city. And over probably a couple of years, I'd gone there, and I met probably 1,000 women, and trying to find this one that just fit that match. Like I said, when I looked for Jen, I had my goals on the back of a business card, and I was trying to find somebody. And so I was in Maui, but I was dating in Maui, different girls and stuff. And then
Because they all called me.
so
For
Oh no, they all
For a
called me,
reference.
and they called my girlfriend, and she called me saying, you know, he's dating a bunch of people here. And I said, yep, I know.
So anyways, it's like we met, and then we kind of met again, and then we just started hanging out and just started dating, and realized that we're just such a match. That was like, it was weird that we meshed so together. Totally different in so many ways, but just everything just went like that. So it was 3 months we got engaged, 6 months we got married.
So go back. You had these written on a card. What you wanted.
So yeah, like on a goal, you say what you want. Like for a wife, you want she should speak English. I said, and should be
Good cook.
educated, good cook, family orientated.
I forget your list.
I forget what they were, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't about 6 things, but
And I had a list
She
too.
had a
and
list too.
how far in advance of you meeting her had you written this list?
before I went to Ukraine.
2 years?
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah.
A couple of years? Okay.
Well, and
Maybe
he
even longer.
even had the church in Paul River, British
Praying.
Columbia, praying for him to meet his mate.
Right.
And I knew that because they all told me after we got married and they met me. Yeah. So, and then I had a list of what I wanted in a mate too.
Okay.
But being an overachiever, she had 6 pages on her.
No, I didn't have 6 pages. I forget how many things I wanted, but I wanted someone with good teeth. I wanted someone that was kind, that was very good with money. I mean, these are things that were really important to me, and I just said that's it. But nowhere on my list did I say that he had to be American.
So we met. I was still Canadian.
okay.
So, and she
But
showed me a book.
if you had put on the list you wanted to be American,
Well,
you would have manifested that?
Probably, but
Yeah.
honestly,
Didn't need to.
didn't need to.
Yeah.
He's too entertaining.
That's awesome. Okay. How often do you refer back to that list?
I found it the other day.
Yeah.
So not often. Not often. We talk very openly about what are some things that we really want. What are bucket list items? You know, we just went to New Zealand and he has always wanted to shoot a red stag with his bow in New Zealand. And we just did that. I mean, we saved some pennies to do that, right? Like that was a big deal to go that far and to do this. Sure. And so we're getting the mount made. And so he has it. And that's just one thing. And it's like, the goal is when we get to end of life, wherever that is, and look back, we don't want to have any regrets. In fact, No Regrets is the name of our boat that we had on our magic whiteboard for 10 years. Totally Napoleon Hill going, we know at the end of this, we're going to want this boat. And we had a picture of almost exactly the same boat that we own now that's named No Regrets. I mean, so not often. We don't refer to those lists very often anymore just because,
We've achieved it, so it's the next goal.
Okay. Right? What's the next goal?
It's tough. We were throwing stuff around like a private jet or, I don't know, my top of my list right now is 1,000 units, which is very generic, but I'm having a hard time getting over that next step. I mean, we've got, for 10 years, I've had 20 units up in Canada, but to get to that next step of multifamily, it's been a difficult journey. So,
okay.
But we're excited about working with you and mentoring us how to get there.
So writing down your goal and being patient and working toward your goal all go hand in hand?
Amazing.
It's a new concept, I know.
Yeah. She is.
That and making sure that you're patient with your passwords. That's the other nemesis that we have right now. Even on the way here, he was like, I can't log into whatever airline. I don't remember my password. I don't remember it. I'm driving, right?
Turns out I never signed up, so.
Oh.
That's all right. Well, I said, we'll just wait till we get back to the house.
Yeah.
It's fine. So,
All right. So he was a logger.
yeah.
And he manifested you because he's a Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich fan.
Yeah.
And your background?
Well, I was in the military, right?
Right.
My sister and I both went to the U.S. Naval Academy, and I ended up running reactors on the USS Enterprise. So I'm a nuclear propulsion engineer. Well,
A nuclear propulsion engineer. Now professional real estate investor.
oh yeah. So when did we make the decision to go into business together?
Yeah.
I think it was just sort of natural that he had carpentry skills in British Columbia, that we got married and instantly had an immigration nightmare, right? Yeah. There's lots of talk about, the assumption of once two country citizens get married, that the other one automatically becomes a citizen, and it's absolutely a myth. We could go way deep down that rabbit hole. We won't. We had an immigration nightmare at the same time the housing crisis was hitting the U.S. That housing crisis did not hit in Canada, almost at all. Their banking structure is very different. So he just started building houses, and we ended up figuring this out. And it was like, okay, well, if he's going to build houses, I have to figure out how I'm going to support him doing the books, doing payroll, helping with materials and things like that. Even though I had never been to Canada before I met him. Oh, wow. Right?
It kind of clicked at some point. We were building new houses and we were renting them out. And we were building new houses, selling them. Then we weren't selling them as much as we wanted. So we realized that we rented out the basement suite. We could rent the upstairs, downstairs, and it would cash flow. Then we realized that there was some really underpriced houses around. So we ended up buying fixer-uppers. And then we ended up finding some fourplexes. Then we ended up with a 12-plex unit. And it was it was kind of like, I read in one of the books or somebody, one of my tapes, that said that every door that produces $200 a month cash flow is one day a month you don't have to work. I thought, well, that's a pretty good goal. Get 20 of those and you don't have to work, theoretically.
Right.
So that we started going down that path. So that was that's when the light went on. And when I was young, I didn't realize that the only thing I could think about real estate when I was young was that, okay, you buy a house, your rent's this check, and then your mortgage payment's this. And that's all I looked at. I didn't look at appreciation. I didn't look at paying off your principal. I didn't look at rents going up. And I didn't look at tax advantages. And I didn't look at all that stuff. Went right over my head. No idea. But, I was young. And some of the houses I passed up for $20,000 now are worth $800,000. Yeah. So just to, stuff you just didn't see back then. Sure.
But along the way, we set goals. And I remember early on in the marriage, Mike said, look, let's do this with the goal of 3 months a year we'll spend in Maui over Christmas. Like when it's cold and nobody wants to be anywhere else. We'll go to Maui. In the spring, we'll travel. In the summer, we'll go boating in Canada because that's when, June, July, August into September is when it's spectacular boating in Canada. And then in the fall, he's a big game hunter. He says, I'll go hunting. Of course, on Maui, there's hunting year round. And so that's exactly what we've gotten into. 19 years into this marriage, and that's exactly what we've created. And so we've created this mobile lifestyle, again, by design. So how do we have all these places that we go to? And my mom lives here in San Antonio. We're here often, right? We actually keep a set of clothes and toiletries and everything here so that we literally just have to go get on a plane and come here and we're set.
Or stop by if we're going by. We'll stop by if we're going to Florida or whatever. We'll usually pop in and spend a couple of days.
Yeah.
Why do you think most couples don't do that? Like set these mutual goals and set these big targets to hit to design their life.
They're worried about money. I think people are, I can't afford this or I can't afford that. And it was funny because when I got married with Jen, we went back to Canada, and it was like I had all this debt in Maui, and no job. I had to live in the base of my ex-wife's. I had to pull out of storage an old crew cab we had for a company transportation vehicle. My daughter called it the loser cruiser. And I had nothing. I had no job. I had nothing. And I had all these payments. And then we made a deal. We borrowed, I had old creditors, old suppliers. And I said, look, I need 90 days. You, and you. I need concrete. I need lumber. I need windows. I need 90 days. And so I did a deal on a lot, and in 90 days I got it to lock up. Then I went to the bank, and then they financed it from there. It was all my own sweat and equity, so I had lots of equity. And then we just started building houses, and then we started acquiring these older houses and acquiring this real estate. But
so this thing about people don't think they have money.
Yeah. So I was heading to the story. So during that time we had literally nothing, and I wanted to still do stuff. So we went to New Orleans for a week and did a 1-week cruise. So I went online, I found a really cheap cruise out of New Orleans, and we used points to get down to New Orleans, and we went with some friends, and we went and still did a 2-week trip, as broke as you are with no money whatsoever. Just scrape the beer balls together, do a couple of cash jobs on the side, and just make sure you do it, because that time that you passed that you didn't do it never comes back.
Yeah.
That's a one-off. And it'll never be the same. You'll never have the same situation. So it's like, don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone and just go for it.
At that point,
that is the answer. It really is.
At that point, he had burned the boats. I just looked at him. I said, I said, I don't even know how we're going to pay for groceries some of these weeks. And he says, we're doing this. I'm figuring this out. And he had taken,
credit cards.
Well, we put it on credit cards. We also had reward points on a credit card. And he says, so he got there was $900 worth of gift cards at like Best Western or something. And so he got $900 gift cards in the mail for Best Western. And then he called the hotel in New Orleans and made the reservation. This is during Mardi Gras. Like the whole thing, when we got down there, I said, how on earth did we do this? And I'm moving us, he's building the houses and then we're moving into the next one, barely with a door on the bathroom and hardly anything finished in the house. I'm moving us often with laundry baskets, so much so people are asking, oh, you must like to move. I said, no, I like to eat. Right? And so, but why do people not do it? I mean, let's face it. Mike and I were not able to have children. He's got a daughter, ironically also named Jennifer. She's little Jen, I'm big Jen, which is better than young Jen and not young Jen, right? So
much better.
So little Jen just got married. She's 30 and just doing amazing things. And she's got a real estate portfolio herself. She helps us with all kinds of things and has a front row seat to how I say things and how we word things and templates. And what do you think of this? And, creep this person on Facebook and tell me what you think. And so she's figuring this out. If we had had children, it might be a little bit different. Our priorities might be a little bit different. But bravery feels like fear. And this is where I keep thinking, even though I'm scared to death on these real estate deals, I look at it and go, you know what? You fall back to the level that you're trained. I know that we've got the right people around us to help us. And if we're making a silly assumption or there's a big problem, we're going to uncover it. And if not, that's okay. We'll learn. Life's about the story, right?
It's awesome.
It is.
I think overcoming fear, if you have this approach, like I said, outside, it's like you are the only one that decides whether it's a good day or a bad day. You have that power. So it's like, if you have the attitude like, hey, if we lost everything today, I'd go, that's great, because we'd have so much more freedom. Because to me, when you have the skill sets that Jen and I have combined, it's like you throw us into any environment and we'll thrive. Because we have more time and energy to focus on stuff that we know about, how to make things happen. Like that show, what was it, 90 Days to Go Make $1 Million? I mean, that kind of thing would be cool to do. I mean, we watch Survivor and Alone and just like, yeah, I could do that. That'd be kind of fun. But
I don't think
in
those
Hawaii,
are fun, but
in Hawaii.
Right. So how would you articulate or how would you define your superpower? Like, okay, what's your superpower, Mike? What's your superpower, Jen? And then what's your superpower together?
Good question. I'm a really good builder. I'm really good and what my takeaway from Napoleon Hill was, the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. And so I've always loved to look at problems as, how can I solve this and what is the advantage if I do that? And I think that's kind of my superpower, being able to figure things out. My skill set with building is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's impressive to watch him school everybody and the younger guys.
I mean, I built a house in 2 weeks one time. I mean, it's like...
Yeah, there's a big asterisk on that. It wasn't exactly...
It wasn't just me. I had help. Anyways, it's like, I watch other people build and it's like, I'm good at framing. I'm good at stick framing roofs. I'm good at cutting granite. I'm good at all that stuff. So that would be my superpower.
Figuring things out.
Can I answer what I think his superpower is?
First, tell us what you think yours is.
Oh, what my superpower is. What I think my superpower is. Organizing. Yeah, I was just saying organizing, time management. I can realistically look at something and I can budget it in real time. He struggles with that. He'll say, oh, this job will take us 2 weeks. And I look at it and I go, no, it won't. It's going to take like 8. Right? It just, I think organizing, spatially organizing materials, but also organizing money and organizing time. And that makes me a good construction manager for his companies as well.
Yeah, that's a great combination.
Right? It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. But, really works good.
What do you think his is?
He's very resourceful. And he's like, oh, I don't know anything about this. So I'll be sitting here back on Google or now ChatGPT or AI and learning about it. And he will, in 10 minutes that I'm searching, he will be like, okay, I've called this person. I have made this appointment. I'm hiring this person. And it's like, I'm going on this course. I'm like, oh, Okay, so he jumps right in. Where me, I'm way more, hey, let's make a little more calculated. Him, he's like, we'll figure it out as we go.
Not adverse to it.
No, he's like, you know what? We're going to learn about it. We're just going to go. I'm not going to waste time checking it. We're just going to learn. And if we hate it, okay, we hate it.
So you jump in the pool and learn how to swim.
Yes.
You got to take lessons.
I got to drag her into the pool.
She wants to know how
Then she
deep the
learns.
pool is.
What's the temperature? What color my towel is? But once we get in and once we get going, it's like, okay, this was a good idea. And we've done this for so long that I know he's going to bring me a deal. He's going to bring me 20 deals. I'm going to hate them all. I'm going to shoot them all down. And he knows this and he gets upset about it. But we know this. But then I can also go back and go, okay, if I can poke holes in a deal and you can fix every one of those, because here's the thing, I'm the one that sells the lender and the insurer. That's me. Right. So if he can sell me and I can sell them, then the deal is actually viable. But if he can't sell me, there's no way. Like, it's done. Yeah. I don't know if we answered that.
You
Oh,
did.
that's great. Yeah.
Has there ever been a time when you thought, okay, that's not going to work. We just need to do something separate from each other. Like this is.
We've talked about it. We've talked about it a couple
they
times.
come, but then we think, wow, then I'd have to do all this stuff.
I've actually begged him to fire me a couple times. And so then we start going, okay, well, what would that look like? And so then we start talking about scope of work. I've actually 1 week ago have onboarded a full-time executive
about
assistant.
Scope of work,
Right?
It's organized,
Right?
We need to talk about the scope of work.
Oh, there's a spreadsheet for that, right? Yeah. So, but now we've got a U.S. bookkeeper. I need to hire a Canadian bookkeeper because now we have real estate developments going on both sides of the border. Because now, we're both U.S. and Canadian citizens. We hold both passports, but we're U.S. residents. And so, long story short, it's going to take 5 people to replace me. But that's okay, because once I'm out of the picture, then I can run with him and go, okay, where's the next pool we're going to jump into? And that's where things like the banking statements, personal net worth, syndication, capital raising, doing the due diligence is really where my analytical skill set is very good, where I can do a preliminary title report and go, hey, why are there 5 mechanics liens on this property? Why are we doing it that way? How you do anything's how you do everything, right? So this is kind of where I'm at, going, replace the day-to-day stuff of little emails and updating credit cards on automatic payments and all this stupid stuff.
She works on a whiteboard. Tell them about how you reset your week.
Oh, my magic whiteboard. So yeah. And people
I
always
love whiteboards too.
See?
Paul hates whiteboards.
So I like whiteboards, and they're also color coded. I mean, there's all kinds of different color codings, but
They seem so finite.
They seem so in your face, is what it is. I would bring it in, I would put it in his office. I was like, we're doing a whiteboard because we had so many apartments going on at one time.
Right.
3 years ago, we had all these apartments. We were closing this one. We had an offer accepted on this one. We were underwriting this one. We were raising money on this one. And so I put it in his office, and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, we need to look at this. He goes, I look at it every day on my laptop. I was like, not the same.
no.
Just not the same. I didn't
see
win.
it differently.
I didn't win. I just took that little whiteboard down to my office.
But to me, it seems it. I mean, I'm okay with charting things out, as long as everybody in the room knows that it doesn't have to stick. Right. Because if I get a better idea, or if I see a different path, or seriously, if something seems cooler to do, or maybe more money, then let's
because we're not going to commit to that.
Right.
Huh?
It's amazing we're married.
Yeah.
How I ever got you to commit to anything.
Well, that was different.
I know.
But I think
That was a commitment of the heart,
I know.
not a commitment of a whiteboard
Or a deal.
or a deal.
Or a path.
Right.
being adaptable though, and
Yeah.
especially when you get new information input, as long as the system works for whatever you're doing, I don't care what the system is. And I've
Right.
told Michael that it doesn't matter. It's like, we could put that chalkboard paint on the wall and write it in chalk. If that's what will work, we'll do it. But you gotta find what actually works. My new assistant that's coming on board, it's like, are we driving on this? She came up with a couple ideas. I'm like, ooh, that's really resonating with me. This other one, not so much. Let's get rid of that one. Let's just sort of find our way and be adaptable, knowing it's going to change. A plan is merely what you deviate from. So we know it's going to change, but that's okay, because it's going to change. That's all right.
That whiteboard idea is really good because Jen, a lot of times she'll loop at night. She can't sleep. So I'll say, get up and write everything on your brain on the whiteboard and deal with it in the morning.
Just do a brain
So
dump.
just get a brain dump, just clear your brain.
Yeah.
And same with when you have all these projects. If you write all these projects, now it's a lot easier to say, yeah, that one looks way better than that one when it's all in front of you. If you get it out of here, because I mean, we all can juggle a lot of stuff.
Sure.
But once it's on the board and speaking, and the other thing I love what Jen says, speak in facts. Don't emotionally, we're not making a decision emotionally. We're talking in facts. Here's the pros and cons to each one of these things. And on the whiteboard, you can see it makes more sense. And then people could share the same idea and agree or disagree with you.
Yeah.
So I love whiteboards.
Okay, so now he's a fan.
He's embraced whiteboards.
Paul's still like, I don't know, maybe not. You know what we did is we really just figured out that we had to stay in our own lane. We for a long time we tried to do that. Like, this is my ideas, this is his ideas, and it was just a battle of ideas all the time. Because we both were single for so long. We were single 13 years before we got married, each of us.
Wow.
So yeah, we were both the CEOs of our lives.
Yes, indeed. Both
Yes.
alphas.
So when we started working together, that was the first year was a lot of that. And then we said, okay, we're going to just stay in our lane. You do what you do. I do what I do. We'll collaborate on stuff. And now things are perfect. I mean, well, not perfect, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're much smoother.
We get a lot accomplished. We're very successful in doing it that way. It's been good.
Nice.
And I imagine
Excellent.
too, as we grow and we take on other enterprises and expand our lives and our businesses, we'll probably have to reset some more. Just keep resetting.
we reset a lot, yeah.
We do that. We reset a lot. So that takes us to one of our favorite. That takes us to her favorite question.
What is my favorite question?
Oh, I don't know.
Number 2.
That is not my favorite question. That is a guy's favorite question. That is not my favorite question.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready? How do you? Oh, lucky for you, the iPad just shut down.
So how do you balance like your love life and your work life and keep everything like very...
Yeah, that's
so
She
great.
did it.
See, I said it in
It's
a
a
nice way.
It's a great question.
yeah.
No,
that's
because
a
it's
great
hard
question.
because like
It
you
is.
do this all day
Yeah.
long, right?
Right.
And it's not, okay, even though this is fun and we plan it and it's great, it's still super hard. I mean, raising lots
Yeah.
of capital for big deals and buying tons of real estate and having your 1,000 doors when you get them, it's been a lot of work till you get there. So how do you do that and still have fun and still make it real, like you still want to grab her hand and go out for a glass of wine and it be a nice evening instead of be going like, go over there and write all on the whiteboard and get back with me later because I'm done. Because it's hard, right? I mean, if we're being honest, it's hard for us.
It's very hard. Yeah.
It's really hard. That's the
hard.
hardest part. Still being in love and then running a big business. It's tough.
It's you need to. I mean, we don't do it enough. I know the theory, and I've studied this. When I went through my first divorce, I read a lot of books on relationships and love languages
You're
and
gonna
all
get it
that
right
stuff.
next time.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. He did. He's fabulous.
Yeah. So date nights or date lunches, and always being walking on the outside of her and open doors for her, and you try to be at least that part, but to carve out time to be intimate and do fun stuff and go on holidays and do something that's different and spend time by yourself. And it's tough, but that's a really good question. It's tough. You really got to think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's important and very important in a relationship.
Yep.
But
Has to be intentional.
yeah, absolutely.
Have to intentionally stay connected.
Right.
Right. So, and that's, I think that's, I don't know if that's our biggest challenge, but it does present challenges sometimes then that we can't turn off the switch.
Yeah.
Like you go to bed, we really try. Once that bedroom door closes, then everything that happened in the day stays out there.
Right.
Right. So, we try. Let's be honest here. We try. I think we're pretty good about it, but sometimes, the day just stays with you. Right.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What's your answer? How do you guys stay connected?
In my mind, there is my role as the business partner, and then there's my role as the wife. The wife is the one that does the cooking and the laundry and the cleaning, and I reset the kitchen and I make sure that he has his own set of pens that when he asks me for pens, that's definitely a wife thing. But a business partner is the one that resets the whiteboard and helps with real estate deals and underwriting and making sure things get paid. And so in my mind, they're different. In his mind, they're the same. And so sometimes the conversations will just go right into 9 o'clock at night. And I'll look at him and go, you know what? That's definitely a coffee conversation. I'm not answering that now, because what ends up happening is at 9 o'clock at night, I'll just get zoomed right back up to think about that. And I just go, you know what? I have permission to say, you know what? That gets tabled till tomorrow. I have permission. And I think that's fair. But the other side of that coin is, because I'm a workaholic, I forget to eat. I forget to drink water. I don't necessarily like working out. So I'm not physically active as much as I should be. And so my brain is overactive. And so I recognize all these things. He is a foodie. The military ruined me for food. Like, it's just simply a commodity. I input food so I can keep going and keep working. And I've always thought that. I have an appreciation now on how we get to a really great meal. But he makes sure I eat. He goes, are you taking your vitamins? Do we have green smoothies? Have you worked out today? All these different things as we're going through. And I'm going, okay, so how can I trick my brain into wanting to work out? Okay, great. I want cute little workout clothes, even if they're on the clearance rack. Who cares if they're cute and I feel good about it? And then I get great music. And so all these little tricks I've had to really trick my mind into, because we work so hard and because we have so much fun and we're doing all these things. If I die in a month from now, what's the point?
I get it.
Yeah.
Does legacy, is that an ever-present thought?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I started a podcast because I had so many people asking me on how on earth we self-manage our rentals on the U.S. and the Canadian side. And so I've, 3 years into a podcast called My Life as a Landlord. And it's all about the words that you say and just really the grassroots version of this. And so that's my legacy as a mental thing. But we've had very, very stern, conversations about what about heirs and trusts and how do we do, especially because we're cross-border. It's craziness, right? It's really been difficult to do it. But that's the, legacy of money and then legacy of intellect, I guess. What about you?
Yeah, it's a great question. What do you do? I mean, the thing is, I hear some people say it's a matter of how long they remember you after you're gone. That's kind of what legacy kind of is. I look at legacy being the 30, 40 houses that I built. Those houses will be there for 100 years from now. So I know that that's kind of my legacy. My legacy is my one daughter. I'm hoping she gives me grandkids. I'm always bugging her for that, but
which she hates,
nothing
by the
yet. So
it's the best. When it happens, it's the best.
Yeah. So it's meant to be whatever God provides, but legacy and yeah, I mean, it's like you can help people. Legacy, I mean, what can you do? I mean, what can you do to make a substantial? I mean, that's why everybody gives all their money away, I guess, into their life, right? These successful people. So,
can I go back to one other superpower between us? You asked, I don't know if we answered. The superpower between us is that we both play full out. We play full out. Like when we go to these conferences and they're like, we want you to dance, we want you to do this. It's like, we're doing it. And if like the last one we went to, Mike was like, we have to learn Instagram because we're supposed to upload a video to Instagram. And I'm like, well, I've never done that. He goes, well, that's the homework. Get on it, figure it out. So I'm like, okay. And so he and I are both on Instagram doing terrible videos, but we're trying. And it's like, okay, this is the assignment. This is what we're doing. And so it's full out, because if we're just going to half-ass it, again, what's the point? And it's way more fun. Even when you make mistakes and you fall down and you do stupid stuff, so what? That's part of the story. Whatever. So that's our superpower together, I think, is we play full out.
Yeah.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah. I feel like that's Paul and I too, yeah.
Yeah, we made that decision a long time ago. And it's not like we sat there I said, okay, we are going to play full out. It's just that we observed, okay, this is how we move through the world. And then together, that's how we move through the world. And so that's a mantra in our house. How we do one thing is how we do everything. And by the way, if we find ourselves maybe slacking sometimes, because it happens, you get a little fatigued, you get worn out, you're slacking, and you're like, oh, okay, I need to step up, because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And that's a mantra to us. And we find it very powerful. So,
But you can. I've always worked super hard because I think people who had a tough upbringing are more motivated
absolutely.
to do that kind of stuff. But then it gets to be like, okay, look, it's okay to take Sunday off. It's okay to take a breath. It's okay to go have some fun. And you got to really kind of check out and say, look, am I having fun? So you got to book those fun things in your life. And that's why we got the boat. We said, look, we're going on the boat, even though we have the Starlink and all the stuff that we need to. But for fun, we're playing Monopoly for real for a couple hours in the morning, and then we can go catch fish or prawns or crab or whatever we want.
But part of the fun too is figuring out, there is a whiteboard on the boat, but I did not want to put a printer on the boat, because that was me acknowledging and saying, look, we're going to put work ahead of play. No, we're not. So I said, okay, the problem is, how can we deal with documents that get emailed to us that then are supposed to be printed, signed, scanned back? How do we deal with that? And we found it in one of the tablets, the Remarkable 2. And it's like, okay, so I have a Remarkable 2. And it's like, okay, even here at my mom's, it's like, I don't need to print that. I just send it to my Remarkable 2 and I sign it and then I send it back. And it's like, we didn't even need to print it. So it's the resourcefulness aspect, and it's figuring out those puzzles and those games, which I play every day. I love playing those little games every day.
Brain
and we
games.
figure that out.
Yeah, that's cool. As we wrap up here, if you could leave behind one golden nugget of wisdom for other couples who are building wealth and legacy, what would it be?
Good question. You take it first. I want to think about this.
You have to be friends first.
Yeah.
You have to be friends first, because if you can't be friends, then you probably shouldn't even be married, quite frankly. And so real estate is really hard. I think it's probably one of the more hard industries, but business in general is hard. But you've got to be friends first.
I would say that, like I said, I study relationships, and they say the chance of you finding the right match is like 1 in 10,000. And, if you're going to do anything in life, even Think and Grow Rich, it says one of the reasons you're successful is by picking the right mate. And lots of books, lots of people say your success is directly due to your partner, how you work together. So to be able to spend the time, learn love languages, step back, get help, men should learn how to be men. Women should learn how to be women. They should know how they want to deep down be in a relationship, and they should be able to not settle. Don't settle. I mean, you're not going to get much more than 18 or 19 out of 20. A friend of mine says, you're not going to find the perfect woman, but you could find 18 or 19 things that match really would. And that's a good kind of thing. Okay. It's like, you're not going to find the perfect house, but if you can get something that's 99% there, that would work. But make sure you don't just settle. Just don't. And I see guys all the time. They want a wife, but they'll go with some girl that is totally not even close to what they need. But because they have someone in their life, they've closed the door to anybody else coming in. And it's really, to me, that's sad. Mm-hmm. But relationship is being lucky, but actually intentionally being lucky. My cousin says, the harder I work, the luckier I get. So, you need to work. You got to work at stuff.
That is true.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. I think it's the intention, friends, protect your relationship, protect your love, your intimacy. And then, by the way, if you're in business, great. But, the first order of business, if you will, first order of life is to protect your relationship, to protect your love.
Well, if you're talking about couples in a relationship and business relationship, you both have to be in love with the idea of being in business. Mm-hmm. She was a degree in business consulting. What was it?
Yeah, something.
Of the middle.
She was a business consultant, help with people,
Yeah.
So, not all women want to be business, right? There's lots that are and very successful, but there's a lot that are happy not to be. And the same with guys. Not all guys want to be in business. So, you got to find, like I say, find people with like ambitions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer and Michael Salisbury, thank you very
Nice.
much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We loved getting to know you guys.
Yeah.
And you have a great story
Yeah.
and a great path in front of you, and you're building a legacy. And we really appreciate you being on our podcast.
Well, we were
you.
blessed to have you guys come into our life.
Yeah. So happy to spend time with you guys in person,
Yeah.
which is really a treat. We didn't even know you were in San Antonio when we hired you. It was great. That was good.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.